Hi, I'm Lydia Millen and I'm an online creator and author, and I'm going to show you around my home. So we moved to the house in 2018 and we actually didn't understand what we were moving to. We viewed the house for the first time in the dark. So we didn't see any of the countryside, we didn't see any of the gardens. What was really exciting about being here once we came back the next day was seeing the grounds, seeing the countryside, and we just felt like this was the right place for us. But we weren't really looking for that countryside dream at all. It just sort of found us. And slowly over the years, it's developed into the home that it is today. Our kitchen has a big glass window and you literally see the seasons changing in front of you. When we moved into the house, everything was very shiny and new. And so I think what we wanted to do was to add a little bit more earthiness into the interiors. So we changed the gloss floor and put something really beautiful, tumbled limestone that just gets better the more you use it. We went for a muddier colour palette on the walls because we almost wanted to blur the lines between the outside and the inside. So this is the main entertaining space in the kitchen. We did actually have a separate dining room, never used it. So this suits us perfectly. And this table really, I think, communicates what we were trying to do when we started redecorating the house, is just knocking things back and making things work for us. And I love this table. It's a bit of a niche one, some people don't. This is from a really beautiful place in Marlow called Home Barn, and it's just really gnarly, beautiful old wood, and I don't have to be precious about it, and it just gets better. And I think that's really the sentiment of what we've done with the whole house. One of the things that I love to do is decorate seasonally, and it's just one of those little extra isms that I like to throw in, but it makes me feel really lovely in my home, and it almost makes me feel like I get a new kitchen or a new house. So we've just decorated for summer, and this is a beautiful pot display that I did with a lady called Hello Petal. She does like all of my florals in the house, and I just think it gives a bit more of a traditional element to the kitchen as well, and also just draws your eye to this space. So this is my pantry, and this has definitely been a labour of love over the years. I've gone from someone who never cooked anything to someone who now cooks and bakes regularly, and I love it. So I really found what I needed in my pantry. I have three things that I'm a bit obsessed with when I go shopping for antiques. Those three things are tables, steps, and butcher's blocks. I'm not allowed to buy any more butcher's blocks because this is really, really big. This is from a place called Burgess Reclamation Yard, and we actually ended up having this made for us by them there because they've got all of these offcuts of wood, and it just worked out beautifully. And it fits our island perfectly, and it actually has become so useful as well. I love things that end up being useful as well as beautiful. When we bought this house, we actually didn't know what type of house we wanted. So we looked at old nunneries, old barn conversions, and it was just by chance that we ended up buying a new build home. Then it was even funnier that I found a real love affair with old furniture and antique furniture. I've even got my dad's old tuck trunk in here as well. But it was almost like a challenge I felt like I wanted to embark on by introducing those more traditional elements into this newer home. And it's been really wonderful learning how a colour palette can influence the different feel of a room. So you'll notice that throughout the house we've gone for muddier, more muted tones, and wherever we use colour it's always got that muddy element to it. But that doesn't mean that our interiors are always really expensive either. My sofas are from IKEA. We just love the fact that we don't have to worry about them. We can take the covers off and wash them and they work in our lifestyle. But then I'll still find a dusty table somewhere that I enjoy that just finishes off the space perfectly as well. Welcome to my favourite room in the house. This is the bedroom, and I would say that this is the space that we probably invested the most in. We wanted an amazing mattress because you spend, is it like half your life in bed? Well, it's something like that. But I wanted that part of my life to be very, very comfortable. So we got beautiful linens, beautiful mattresses, and this bed is beautiful. We got this from America, and it was one of those things that I think I've always wanted a four-poster bed I think every girl wants to feel like a princess every night, and I would say I get to feel like that. It's just absolutely spectacular, and I love the use of the wood, the linen and the metalwork as well. It feels like it's got a bit of earthy elegance to it. And in this room, we wanted it to be quite calm and just a peaceful place, so that when we come here, it's almost like we escaped from the rest of the world. This is our ensuite bathroom, and this room has honestly been, I think, probably one of my biggest joys, because this was really cold. There was loads of marble and we really wanted to warm it up. So I think our bath, it really is the pinnacle of this space. We really wanted that feature bath in front of the window. I love the taps. And then the copper just really warms the space up. The shower for me is just, it's like a car wash. It's so big. You don't have to think about it. Just go in and just wash the day away. I love an antiques rummage, and I just think that every single room needs something older in it. It just knocks everything back. And this was a little apothecary cabinet that I found from the Old Flight House, which is a really beautiful antiques shop just outside of the Cotswolds, and I just love the owners. They're so wonderful. This is from Home Barn. I've already mentioned them. They're a really lovely shop in Marlow, and they do beautiful wooden furniture, and this was just perfect. And also my shell was also a gift from the owners of the Old Flight House as well. It's just balancing things and finding things that you really love, that when you look at them, they just make you feel happier. And I think that's generally what I try to do with my interiors. This is my dressing room, and we actually sacrificed 2 bedrooms for mine and my husband's dressing rooms. It's one of those spaces that I think it brings out the little girl in me. It just makes doing my job easier, but also keeping things organized. And coming in here is also a little bit of a retreat as well. I've created a space that's calm and beautiful. I've used fabrics that I love, and my favorite color that is green. This is the Colfax and Fowler Oakham fabric, and this fabric brings me so much joy. It has the most beautiful tones in the fabric. It's like a dusky blue mixed with a really beautiful muddy sage. 2 years on, I still absolutely love these curtains. We had them made by a local company, and they were just so perfect. So much so that I also popped it onto the footstool as well. And there's also some ticking stripes. I think you can never go wrong with a ticking stripe. So yeah, I got to be a little bit more feminine and girly in here, which you'll see in my husband's dressing room. He's obviously been a little bit more masculine, and these are our spaces just for ourselves. Come on, chicks! Release the hounds! So the garden always looks better in the sunshine, I think. I feel like I've said that every room is my favourite, but what I actually mean is this is my favourite. This is definitely my favourite room for the house. This is my Alitex greenhouse, and I put this in 6 years ago now. And it is probably the most special thing I think I've ever done for myself. I found gardening in lockdown, and it was a very, very quick tumble into obsession. And before long, I had the Alitex team coming and measuring out, and we found a disused part of the garden, and we laid it all out in wood and chose the size. We ended up going for their beautiful Tatton greenhouse, and this has been my sanctuary ever since. When it gets to January, I count down the days until the growing season starts, because it feels like it's not long enough. Obviously in the UK, we don't have a full growing season, but I do as much as I possibly can. So I start usually around February, and I'll go right through until autumn. I've just put the first of my autumn vegetables in the bed, so you'll see a few little seedlings in there. But I thought I'd show you some of my prides and joys in here. I mean, there's a lot, but I did grow my first flowers from seed this year, which were my buttercream marigolds, and they are in this window box here. And I've actually managed to get some in the beds as well, because they're really, really good for pest control as well. Also good for planting with chickens, which I found out when I recently attended the King's Foundation Awards, and I was gifted a marigold, and I have planted one of those in my beds as well. And over here, I actually have a newly planted rhubarb. And it's funny because I've been growing rhubarb for about 3 years. And if you were to look at my other rhubarb plant, which is the older one, it doesn't look as good as this one. And I think it has something to do with how it's planted with the raspberries, because I did a bit of research and the raspberries are a really great companion plant for rhubarb. And this has just gone wild. I mentioned earlier that I love decorating seasonally, and I used to go to local pumpkin patches and get loads of pumpkins and gourds to decorate my home for autumn. And then I decided that I was going to try and grow as many as I could. And so I thought I would show you my really lovely pumpkin that is coming through next to my sweet peas. So I'll be harvesting that around end of September, I reckon. So I've really enjoyed showing you around my home and garden today. If you want to see more, I'm at Lydia on Instagram and Lydia Millen on YouTube.